Here's the 64 LeMans that we're going to be putting the disc brakes on. The ones we pulled off the Grand Prix. I'm going to show you a little bit about the car before we get started on it. Kind of give you a rundown. 1964 LeMans. Car's in real good shape. We've drove it around quite a bit. Alan put it in the Geraldine Homecoming Parade. It could use a little stuff here or there, but it is a real nice driver. We're going to put disc brakes on it. Start there, start trying to upgrade everything. We like to get it in here, get it painted, insides fixed real nice, and make a regular parade car cruiser out of it. So we're going to get started putting the disc brakes on it. That'll be the first step to getting her where we want her. So everybody stay tuned. Okay, here, drum brake, disc brake, it don't matter which one you got, everything's pretty much the same on like the spindle. We'll take our tie rod loose, upper ball joint, lower ball joint, we'll get all that off, take our brake line loose, get all this off, and then we can start fitting the disc brake spindle. We may have to do a little customizing to it to make it fit, but we'll get this off out of the way where we can go from there. Okay, not long after we've got the car, we had to put brake hoses on it because it didn't have much brakes at all. So hopefully our line will come loose pretty good. Looks like it's going to. So I like to get my line off, and then I take me a bottle and I pull the line over here out of the way, and I wedge that bottle up on the line to catch my brake fluid. So maybe it ain't all running where I'm working, you know. So we'll get that and get it started draining and start pulling this front end off. Yeah, I know I should have went and got a 5/8 wrench, but I didn't want to have to stop the camera and run in there and grab another wrench. I was thinking these was 11/16 on the other one, and we'll probably end up having to use the outer tie rod off the other car. Now I got the pickle fork where you can knock them loose, but on them tie rods, I like to just give them a good whack. And then they don't always come loose. Like that. Okay, we got all our nuts off. Stick my pickle fork in here. I like to knock my bottom one off first. That way you get the pressure off of it like that. Go ahead and get my brake line loose right here. Pull out the little clip where the hose will fall. Put my pickle fork in here for the top one. Let go. Sometimes you'll have to fight with them. And then watch your foot, because when it comes loose, it comes loose. Okay, we got our ball joint for the 85 Grand Prix, I believe it is. take you a little bigger drill bit and just waller out those holes just a tad, because it's not exact perfect. You don't have to drill new holes or anything. It likes just a little bit for the bolts going in. So if you waller them out just a tad, it'll make the bolts fit. Right here is the part number for the upper ball joint. And like I said, this is for the 85, I believe it is, Grand Prix. And like I said, it fits right in the 64 upper control arm. Just have to water those holes just a tad. I took my little angle drill and got them watered out. Okay, we got the spindle mounted. Like I said, we used the factory 85 Grand Prix upper ball joint and mounted it in the 64. On the bottom, we used the 64 joint, and we just had to clean out the spindle just a little bit to get it to slide up on there. It's kind of tapered, so we just had to clean it up to get it down on there. So you got the 85 top joint and the 64 bottom joint. And like I said, everything fits here. You just have to clean out them holes a little bit where the bolts go through better. And then the bottom, you just have to hone out the spindle just a little bit so the ball joint will slide up in there. Now we're waiting on a tie rod end. We're getting new tie rod ends, and you have to use the 85 outer tie rod end. It fits into the 64 sleeve, and that'll be the tie rod end you use. So as soon as we get that in, we'll get it put on. I'm going to start putting the backing plate and the brakes on. Okay, we got our new rotor here, and got our bearings. We got fashion away. Put a little grease in the palm of my hand. And you take that bearing, you go like that, and you just push that grease through. You can see the grease starting to roll out. When the grease rolls out, you know you got plenty of grease in it. Get it greased good. Put it down in your race. Get the seal in place. Need to give me a rag. Before I clean my hand off, I like to get a little grease, and I like to put down in there and pull up into the burn. Get some down in the piece of grass come from. Make sure you don't get no grass in there like that. I don't know where that come from. Okay, I'll get this grease off on here. Take your hammer, tap the seal in. Clean off that outside edge. That's got that bearing in. Spin it over. Do our front bearing. Same way. Grease in your palm. That's got your bearings packed. Now we'll go out here and put this rotor on. Alright, slide your rotor on. Washer. Then your nut. Okay, I like to tighten this nut down good. Get them bearings seated. Make sure everything's good. And back it off a little bit. Twist it. Spin it. Tighten it down again. Keep twisting it. Make sure it's seated good. Loosen it up. Make sure there ain't no play. Then just kind of snug her down. Line up the cart key. No play in there. Spins good. Ready to go. Alright, take your carter key. Slide it through the hole. Bend them back. Take your dust clamp. There it is. It's got your rotor on. Now we're ready for the brake shoes and the caliper. Alright, here's our brand new caliper. And I think earlier I was calling these that Grand Prix 85. It's actually an 81. So we've got the calipers for the 81. The rotors were for the 81. The top ball joint's for the 81. The lower ball joint is for the 64. The spindles are off the 81. The brake pads are off the 81. The inner tie rod and sleeve is off an 80. No, the inner tie rod and sleeve is off the 64. And the outer tie rod is going to be off the 81. But this caliper setup comes with brand new bolts and the little clip for the brake pads. Alright, that's got your caliper and your rotor on. So we're going to try to get our brake hose fitting, and we're going to figure out which brake hose it is, and then we'll let you know, because we got two different ones. So let me get them rounded up and we'll start putting them on and see which one of them fit. Okay, here's our brake hose for the disc brakes. This is off the 81 Grand Prix. May need to be a little bit longer. Okay, everybody, here we go. Wrapping up another list item. The 1964 Pontiac LeMans disc brake conversion. Remember, we pulled the disc brakes off of the 81 Grand Prix and put them on the 64 Pontiac LeMans. I'm going to give you one more rundown and show you the final product of what we've done. So here it is. Alright, we still got her up on the jack, but we got the wheels on. Brakes are bled. Front end, all the new parts are greased. And I'm going to tell you what we used again. We used the spindles, the rotors, the calipers, the brake pads, and the upper ball joints off of the 1981 Pontiac Grand Prix. Had spindles, rotors, pads, calipers, and upper ball joints off of the Pontiac Grand Prix, the 1981. We used the lower ball joints off the 64 LeMans, but we had to hone out the bottom of the spindle just a little bit for it to slide up in there good, like it's supposed to be. And we also, the brake hoses we used, I had to give you the part number on them, because these are just like the 81 Pontiac Grand Prix, except they're a little bit longer. The 81 Grand Prix ones are too short, so we had to match some up a little longer, and this is the part number. We used the outer tie rods off of the 81 Pontiac Grand Prix, and we used the sleeves and the inner tie rods off of the 64 LeMans. So that gives you kind of a breakdown, and that's going to wrap it up. So we got one more item knocked off the list. Time to choose something else and move on to the next one. Hope everyone has a good week, and thank you for checking out 256 Garage. Alright, we're going to give her a little test drive down the road, see how she stops. See how she drives. Seems to be driving good. Get up here where we turn in and see how she stops. Oh yeah, stops good and straight, good and smooth. Feels a lot better than it did with the drum brakes. So I hope this video helps anybody out, helps them out. And I'm gonna attach a little parts list to the end of it. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you later.